Christmas
busy
is tough
time,
for you,
so
right?
Christmas and New Year's time is really, really busy time. So I think we don't get it off.
I think we don't get an off. I think he meant to say, I don't think we get an off day, or I don't think we get a day off. But, it's Sonny, so I'm going to forgive him because he is Korean Jesus. How's it going, guys? My name is Jason and I've been an English educator here in the Gangnam district of Seoul, South Korea for over 15 years. And I'm currently one of the co-founders of SWAT English Academy. And today I'm going to be breaking down an English interview by none other than Son Heung-min. I shall not speak his name in vain. He is Korean Jesus, but I'm looking forward to this.
Were you going for goal when you got the ball, or were you just trying to make a run and that opportunity came in and then you just went?
No, obviously, I think when I received the ball in my box, I tried to pass it.
Right.
I'm never gonna dribble
yeah.
all the people there. Certainly, I start dribbling, and after 2 seconds, I was 1v1 with the keeper, and then after like, what? I couldn't believe,
Okay, so first of all, one thing I noticed is, and I know this about Son Heung-min, he often says, obviously. It's one of the things that's part of his speech. He starts his speech off there, obviously. If you listen carefully to his interviews, which I've seen all of multiple times, he'll often add that, obviously. And the problem with that is sometimes to the listening audience, it's not so obvious. So you want to use the word terms like that kind of sparingly. Also, some of his enunciation isn't so clear, and that might have to do with his mastery over the English language in general. He does have a slight German accent when he speaks English because he spent his youth in Germany. And so you'll notice that some words aren't enunciated as clearly as they can be. So whenever you guys are doing an interview or a speech, it's always advisable to sort of take an extra moment and make sure you know exactly what you're going to say and enunciate it clearly.
When did it go from like being a hobby to suddenly thinking that you're like, I could be, one of the best players in the world?
He is one of the best players in the world.
I tried to be best footballer in the world, but certainly my dad was football player. When I was a kid, I follow him lots of times. He was coaching after retired when I was a kid.
Cool.
So I follow him to the pitch. I watch the football.
So he's missing an article there. When I was kid, he's missing the article there. A common mistake by ESL students is they'll misplace articles, omit articles, or use the incorrect articles. And the. So always be mindful of that during your interviews and speeches.
Kind of you start enjoying, this was like a hobby, but certainly like 9 years old, after like.
Notice again, this time instead of obviously, he uses certainly twice to start off one of his sentences. And once again, is it a big deal? No, but it's not so certain to all the listeners. And sometimes it just sounds like filler because you're not quite certain of what you're saying in your speech. So try to avoid things like that. Not too many obviously's and not too many certainly's, but it's kind of become habitual with Sonny. If you listen to his other interviews, you're going to notice the same thing.
And do you like the hard work? I mean, you must be so fit, and they must put you through hell.
Yeah, I think when you think about the past, I think
right there at that sentence, when you think about the past, there was no need for the it in that sentence. He could have omitted that word. When you think about the past, or when I think about the past, so always be careful about adding words and articles and subject pronouns that don't necessarily need to be in the sentence. Common small error that ESL students make, so just be mindful of that.
You too, probably to be one of the best actor.
Yeah, no, but for me, I just have to look good. I don't have to be.
You do look good.
I can be in great shape. If
I'm a Spider-Man fan too.
I'd drop dead.
Yeah, but it's a different, But I think it's the hard work keeps me. The time probably you will say, okay, this is not right time, but I still kept going the hard work because one day it's gonna be pay off,
Of course, yeah.
So that's what I believed, So till now, I'm trying to work hard as possible. So
till now, I'm trying to work as hard as possible. So right there, some small grammatical errors, right? Until now, I have tried to work as hard as possible would probably be the sentence he was going for there. But these very minor grammar mistakes in his speech. Now, in terms of comprehension from the listener, we know what he's trying to say. but these are just small minor mistakes that you'd want to avoid or try to practice before your speeches. In an interview, it's a little bit different because it's happening right there, right then and there in front of you. So it's a little bit difficult to monitor yourself. But these are things that we can all perfect with practice.
Do you take the day off before a game day? What's
Son Heung-min doesn't take days off.
What's your
I
schedule
think it's
looking like?
footballers is now really busy.
Yeah, Christmas
busy.
is
You'll also notice he tends to repeat phrases, really busy, busy, certainly, certainly. He'll tend to repeat things a few times. That's not always a bad thing, but usually repetition is meant to emphasize an important point, whereas Sonny seems to be using it as sort of filler or to sort of gather his thoughts. I think I just did it there, sort of. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not exactly the world's foremost authority on these things. You know, I make mistakes too. But just a little reminder. So if you're going to repeat something in a speech, especially, make sure that you're repeating it to hammer home an important point or emphasize something important. Try not to use it as filler. But once again, this is an interview and not a speech, so it's happening in the moment. Much more difficult to keep track of stuff like that.
So
right,
Christmas and New Year's time is really busy time. So I think we don't get it off in this month. It depends also.
I think we don't get an off. I think he meant to say, I don't think we get an off day, or I don't think we get a day off. But, you know, it's Sonny, so I'm going to forgive him because he is Korean Jesus.
So the game results, you know, some days if you win the game, so the manager just saying, okay,
take a day off.
Tomorrow's day off, you guys deserve it.
I also really like the fact that Sonny is sort of free-flowing with his body language in interviews. You don't want to be too wild and crazy, but he does show a lot of expression with his body language. And this shows a degree of confidence when he's speaking. You don't want to stand up there looking like a statue and stuff. So definitely a plus side to his speech.
You know that goal that you scored and you're shouting at him like, did you get the assist? Did
Yeah,
you
I
get the
think
assist?
Oh, okay, that goal.
Yeah, that was so sick.
I didn't know that was on the camera, you know, that I was
Yeah.
just so buzzing, you know, and then say, hey, did you get an assist? And then it was literally on the camera that
You could just
I'm
see
saying
assist.
So this is another area where of this particular interview where he's not enunciating that clearly, and it's kind of difficult to hear what he's saying. It's always important to enunciate your words clearly for the listener. All right, so that was my breakdown of the interview between Son Heung-min and Spider-Man. What is his name again?
Tom Holland.
Yeah, there you go. Tom Holland. My bad, Tom Holland. I slipped my mind for a second. He's far less important than Son Heung-min in my opinion. So Sonny was what I was concentrating on there. But overall, with Sonny, he has a great confident sort of aura when he speaks. He does use a little bit of filler. He does need to work on some enunciation, and he does make some grammatical mistakes. He'll leave out articles, he'll misplace subject words like it sometimes. But overall, we have to understand that Son Heung-min is a kid who learned English as, I believe, his third language. He left South Korea, Chungcheongnam-do, in his early teens, and then moved to Germany in Hamburg. He also speaks semi-fluent German. I wouldn't know, I don't speak a lick of it, but you can hear him on interviews speaking German. And then he moved over to the Premier League where he sort of focused on his English. So for a guy who's trilingual, who I'm barely bilingual, I'm not going to say too much about this man whom I adore and I've been watching since he was a teenager. I was following him in Germany. Yeah, but overall, lots of positives to take, but then there are lots of errors that we can learn from, and you're always going to learn more from your mistakes and failures than you are going to learn from your successes and the things that you're adept at. So a lot of great things to take from this interview, and you know, that jacket, that hair, Son Heung-min, I mean, there's like, the man can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. This man could be mute, and he would still be my hero. So yeah, that's my breakdown of Son Heung-min's interview, and I'd like to thank all you guys for joining us. My name, once again, is Jason and if you need any information on how to apply for our English Academy or application processes, all that information will be down in the description below. Also, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I'll see you guys next time.